Not all that glitters is gold. Some promises are traps in disguise. Have you ever heard of young girls disappearing after being promised a better life? Have you ever wondered what happens behind the doors of those fancy nightclubs? This is the true and heartbreaking story of a young girl who was lured into a world of danger but fought her way out. I will never forget that night. It still haunts me, the way everything happened so fast. Like a movie, but it was real, too real. My name is Sandra, and I work as a waitress at a small restaurant in town. I have seen many things in my life, but what happened to Blessing shook me to my bones. Blessing was only 19, a young girl full of dreams, full of life. She wanted a better future, but she didn't know that some roads, no matter how beautiful they look, leads to destruction. Blessing and I became close when she started coming to the restaurant where I worked. She was always smiling, always talking about how she wanted to be rich and enjoy life. I liked her, but deep inside me, I worried for her. She was too trusting, too naive. One evening, she came running into the restaurant, her eyes shining with excitement. "Sandra, you won't believe it. I just met a woman who wants to help me." I wiped my hands on my apron and looked at her. "What kind of help?" "She's rich. She owns a club in town. She said I am beautiful and I can make good money working for her." I felt something cold in my chest. "What kind of work?" "Just hosting VIP guests," she said, waving her hand like it was nothing. She said I will only sit with them, have fun, and I can make up to 50,000 naira in one night. I shook my head. "Blessing, be careful. Things like this are never that simple." She laughed. "Sandra, you worry too much. Life is about taking chances." That was the last normal conversation we had. A week later, I was walking home after my evening shift when I saw something that made my heart stop. A black car was parked by the roadside, just a few streets away from my house. The back door opened and I saw Blessing. Her clothes were rumpled, her hair scattered, and she looked scared. The moment her feet touched the ground, she turned and started running like a mad person. The car door slammed and two men jumped out chasing her. I didn't think, I just ran. "Blessing," I screamed, running towards her. She saw me, but she didn't stop. She kept running, her breath heavy, her legs shaking. One of the men grabbed her by the hair and yanked her backward. She let out a blood-curdling scream. "Leave her alone," I shouted, picking up a stone and throwing it at them. One of the men turned to me, his face dark with anger. "Mind your business." I pick up another stone. "Leave her or I will scream until the whole street comes out." Blessing was crying now, begging, her hand shaking. "We warned you," the second man hissed. "You don't leave Madam's place just like that." I didn't know what they meant, but I could see the terror in Blessing's eyes. Just then, an old man came out of a nearby house with a torchlight. "What is happening here?" The two men hesitated. They looked at me, then at Blessing. Finally, they jumped into their car and sped off. Blessing collapsed into my arms, sobbing like a baby. Back in my room, Blessing couldn't stop shaking. I gave her water, but her hands were too weak to hold the cup. I had never seen her like that before. After a long distance and a long silence, she finally spoke. "Sandra, I was trapped." I listened as she told me everything. The woman who had promised her a good job had taken her to a nightclub in another part of the city. At first, it was just about sitting with men, drinking and laughing. Then one night, she was forced into a private room. A man had tried to touch her. She fought back, but the club's bouncer warned her never to refuse again. They took my phone, my money, everything, she whispered. They said I belong to them now. Tears rolled down her cheeks. They gave me something to drink. After that, I don't remember much. I only know I woke up in a strange man's hotel room. I clenched my fist. We have to go to the police. She shook her head. Sandra, you don't understand. These people are powerful. They have the police officer on their side. If I report, they will find me and kill me. Blessing stayed in my house for days, too afraid to go out. But fear cannot stop time. One evening, while I was at work, she left. She left a note on my table. Sandra, thank you for saving me, but I have to run. They will find me if I stay here. Pray for me. For months, I searched. I asked people, but nobody knew where she was. Then one night, I received a call. Sandra, it's me. My heart almost stopped. Blessing, where are you? I escaped. How Blessing conquered it all. Blessing had run to another state. She met a kind woman who took her in and helped her start a new life. She started working in a small shop, saving money little by little. She went back to school. But the nightmare didn't stop. She told me how she would wake up in the middle of the night, shaking, sweating, remembering the things she had seen. The girls who were still trapped, the ones who couldn't escape, but she was strong. One day, she met a group of women who were helping girls like her. They were rescuing young women from clubs and brothel, giving them shelter, helping them heal. Blessing decided to join them. She told me, Sandra, I will never forget what happened to me. But if I can help even one girl escape, then my pain was not for nothing. Blessing's story is not just her story. It is the story of many young girls who are lured by fake promises. Not all road leads to gold. Some roads lead to darkness. But even in the darkness, there is a way out. Blessing find her way out, and she's using her pain to save others. Blessing's story is not just her story. It is the reality of so many young girls who are promised a good life, but end up in places they never imagined. This is why we must be careful. Not every opportunity is a blessing. Some roads, once you enter, you may never return. If you know someone in a dangerous situation, speak up. If you have survived, help others. And if you are watching this, share this video because you might just save a life. What do you think about this story? Have you or someone you know ever experienced something like this? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life stories that open our eyes to the dangers around us. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an important story like this.